Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Naoya Inoue, I keep mispronouncing his name. Naoya Inoue is coming to America. Now, he just went out there and clipped Kim. And let me tell you something. I don't know who's going to beat Naoya Inoue. It'll probably be the weight divisions that beat him. Because I just don't see anybody. Let me close my door, man. Hey, Rasul, quiet down, boy. Son's in there playing, making a bunch of damn noise. But I think it's the weight divisions that's going to probably end up being too much for Naoya Inoue, man. That guy is just he's just a machine, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, he's coming to America. I'm trying to figure out who are they gonna line up for him. And when I take a look at least at ESPN's top 10 junior featherweight rankings, Inoue is the big dog. Tapales, he already clipped him. And Goodman, I don't even know if Goodman deserves another opportunity. I think he was just afraid to get in the ring with him. This is your biggest fight of your career, the most money you're gonna make, and then you get 2 injuries. Bullshit. I just don't buy it. Neri already got tranquilized. You got Akhmadaliev, who may need an opportunity. You got Casimiro. You got, these other guys. But to be honest with you, I don't think any of them give him any problems. Now, that's just my opinion. I think Inoue would have no problem with any of these guys. I just don't think anybody at 122 pounds is a threat to him. And people are going to have opinions because, look, the best boxer doesn't win. It's the boxer who fights the best on that night. But in Naoya Inoue's case, it don't matter what night he fights any 122-pounder, I think he's always going to be the boxer who fights the best. Because he doesn't just box. He fights. And you can see when things get thick in that ring and he starts letting his hands go, the fight is won. But now, what makes it interesting, because I'm going to tell you, I personally think when you start taking a look at Naoya Inoue, if they're going to bring him to the States, they won't do it because they want him to come and put on a great show and tranquilize somebody. So they may pick up where they left off with the Australian. But I think if I had control, I'd have him, drop all those titles, bubble up to 126, and face a Nick Ball type guy. That's just me. I'd have him bubble up and just face, where are we at? Right here. Bubble up right here and face Nick Ball for that WBA strap. That's what I would do. Put him right in there and let him go ahead and tranquilize Nick Ball. Because I think he would tranquilize Nick Ball. I think it'll be a tough fight because Nick Ball can scrap. But that's what I think. Get in there and face Nick Ball, who's a WBA champion. And I think that would be a very interesting fight. Nick Ball is a guy who, just like I say, Inoue is a fighter, Nick Ball is a fighter, man. And Nick Ball's going to get in there, and I think Nick Ball will give Inoue a very stiff chest. Nick Ball is not just going to take a few shots and roll over. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. He is going to fight tooth and nail to try to get the victory. But nonetheless, when you look at Nick Ball, the other things that got my attention is, of course, he's 5'5" or 5'4". His reach is like 65, 64 inches. He's 27, so he's relatively young. And I think if they want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, just have Inoue bubble up to another division, because I personally think that's the direction Inoue is going. Go and clip Nick Ball. That way, you come to the States, you get the knockout you're looking for, because I do think he'll knock out Nick Ball, and you become a champion in another division, and then you can start your quest to become, was it 5? It'll be a 6th division or something like that. You can pursue your journey to become a 6th division champion, undisputed in your 3rd division or something like that. Anyway, yeah, 3rd division, right? Anyway, it's crazy, the trajectory that Naoya Inoue is on. But nonetheless, whatever they decide to do with him, I think for his next fight is going to be exciting. But I do know they're going to want him to come over here to America and do something that's going to capture the imagination of the audience and boxing fans. And they're looking for a very devastating knockout of whoever they put in the ring with. So somebody going to sell their soul, because I just don't think at 122 pounds, Inoue loses. And even when I was watching Inoue fight and the lead up, right, he looked a little bit weight trained. He looked like holding on to that 122 pound limit for an extra month and a half, like that took its toll on him. You know, that's hard to do, because these fighters get down to a certain weight. And I understand Inoue's, it's like his 5th division, right? And him fighting at that weight is probably a little more comfortable than someone who comes from 200 pounds to 154. But at the same time, most of these fighters, they get down to that weight just for a moment in time. And they do their weigh-in and they rehydrate and eat, and there's no looking back to try to get to that weight until it's time for the next fight. But to get down to that weight, to fighting weight, with your contract, and to have to hold it for 4 or 5 weeks, you know, longer than what you expected, that shit is difficult, man. And I don't know if they did it like that, but I'm pretty sure they were controlling it. They didn't probably let them balloon up 10 pounds or so after the fight with Goodman got pushed back. I'm sure they try to keep it within 5 pounds or something like that. But still, having to try to manage your weight for 4 or 5 weeks after you had already mentally planned, okay, after this day, I can weigh in, rehydrate, that takes a toll on you, psychologically so and physically. But that being said, good luck to Inoue. I hope they bubble him up to 126. And not just put him in there with Bruce Carrington. Put him in there, let him get a title. Clip Nick Ball. Okay, because Bruce Carrington has a big 2025 plan, and I don't think Top Rank would do that anyway, not right now. But nonetheless, let's see what happens. But he's coming to America. Some people say it's about time. Some people feel that, okay, what's up with the drug testing? There's all kind of things people are saying, positive and negative, okay? So it's a composite mix of feelings about Inoue and what he's been able to accomplish in boxing. So, hey, look, Bob Marley, I didn't shoot the sheriff, so don't come shoot me because I'm bringing up things. We're having a conversation. There's good and bad things said about Inoue, so let's not act like it doesn't exist. But coming to the States, hopefully those people who are saying these negative things about Inoue, like, oh, he's fighting in Japan because he's on the cocktail, hopefully this will help to resolve all that, and Inoue can just get the respect and credit he deserves as an outstanding fighter. And I've said this in other videos, I'm going to say it again. The guys who are commenting on Inoue, I've been out there in Asia. I've been in gym sparring, man, from Korea, China, and Japan, right? And I'm telling you, the culture is different. So you see the shit Inoue's doing? That sparring they do over there, they're not coochie-cooing each other. It's difficult, man. That shit is sink or swim. They're coming in there launching missiles. I'm telling you from experience. I learned that shit the first time I went there and sparred. I'm like, what is this? And then I was taken to a gym to go do some friendly sparring. And that shit was, no kidding, a fight. And I was fighting a guy who was training for it's like the heavyweight national amateur championship, some title. I just know he was in better shape than me. And after I told a story before, like the first 2 rounds, I threw everything I had to keep that dude off me, and I hurt him. But after that second round, boy, I was getting tired. He threw a shot, and I rolled with it. And I was like, okay, that's the first time I almost got clipped like that ever. But I was tired. And the 3rd round, man, look, I just grabbing him. And by the time that shit was over, my whole body was shaking, my legs, everything. That's how much effort I had to put forth to keep this dude off me, man. And I was like, never again will I go and do sparring anywhere while I'm here. And that was it. I learned that shit in Korea. Never again will I go do that and not be in shape. So all I did was run hills. I was running for like an hour and 45 minutes, hills, man, all the way up, all the way, and then back down. I would pace myself going up, and when I would get tired, I would jog in place, and then I would pick it up and just keep going until I got to like the midway point. Then I'd turn around, and most of them I'd sprint all the way back. But I was in a different type of condition out there. After that shit, I was in a different kind of shape. All that coach would say is, he would call me by my last name. Let's say my last name is Champion, right? He would say, Champion, you reduce. Your face, small, you reduce. That shit used to make me laugh. Basically, he was saying, like, hey, you're losing weight. But he was trying to say, look, you're reducing weight. Like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, nah, man, you almost got me killed. Fucking around out there. But after that, I was like, yo, let's go back to that gym. I never got a chance to go back to that gym. But I was out, when I went up there, I was like 202. I was in shape, like lifting weight shape, but not, I was in sparring shape, but not fucking fighting shape. Not to do that shit. And I was like, okay. Then I started hitting them hills. Took me about, 45 days to cut down to like 180. That motherfucker, he couldn't believe it. Oh, you reduce. And I never got a chance. But everyone in that gym that we sparred, I didn't care if it was like, he's like, just go to the body. I like, all right, I was trying to break their ribs. I didn't give a shit. I stepped to the side, hit them in the solar plex, come back to that liver kidney shot, man. I used to do it. Sometimes I would even throw that combination, man. That straight left to the body, right hook to the body, then come with that left uppercut. Knowing I wasn't supposed to, I used to throw that shit anyway. Because they used to fucking sit there and just try to let a shot go that wasn't supposed to be gone. So I made sure when they came in that ring with me, they knew not to fuck around with me. But I wasn't like that. They made me that way. Because they would do that shit to you. Motherfucking, they sit back and laugh at you, man. Yo, it's like you get a badge for fucking up the American dude. But anyway, don't sleep on Inoue. That shit he's doing, that shit is real. That shit starts from small. They beat those guys when they're kids, and those kids are in the gym messing around. I'm telling you, I seen that shit with my own eyes. They beat them. It's not their parents beating them, it's them coaches. They beat them, and they beat the shit out of them. I'm telling you. I saw that shit like, that's abuse. And the guy had told me, he was like, culture different. And I knew what he was saying. He's like, yo, you ain't used to seeing this shit in America, but over here, this is how we are. And there was one kid in particular, I know I'm getting way the fuck off on a tangent, but there was one kid in particular, and I remember they expected him to go on to fight in the Olympics for the country. And that kid was a monster. But boy, he liked to fuck around. It was like 12 years old. Typical him and his friends playing in the gym, coming over trying to play with me and shit, want to speak English, want to play, throw the glove at. Like they play very aggressive, so you got to play aggressive with them little fuckers or they'll black and blue you. And that coach, man, he told them to do something, but they weren't doing it. He came out, I don't know what he said. They all lined up. I was with my Puerto Rican partner. We were watching. I'm like, what's he about to do? You know, putting him in front of fire. We gonna shoot him. He grabbed one of them big focus mitts, the one that like a tennis racket. Bah! Bah! He just started beating the shit out of him. In the back of their heads, had him bow, beating him, man. And my boy, we looked at each other, and I was like, I shook my head like, don't get involved in that shit. Like, this obviously is normal, the way them kids lined up. They were just taking them shots. And they had tears in their eyes, and he was screaming at them. And then he saw us looking like, what the fuck was that? And he came over, and he couldn't really speak much English, man. And I had a book. That's how we used to communicate, because I had, the Korean and shit from the book. And he was just telling me, culture different. And I was like, I got it, no problem. And, business as usual for me. But those guys get fucked up as young kids, and they make sure if they identify someone who they feel can go and represent the country, they're on them. And the parents, everybody. Them kids don't have no life, man. Anyway, y'all keep cool. I know I went off on a tangent, but true fucking story, so in the breeze.